It's what exactly no one asked for. Another interview with Meghan Markle, and to no one's surprise, it is the exact same stories and sound bites and tidbits that she has said at least 3 other times. There is not one single new anecdote in this interview, if you can believe it. I have read it, skimmed over it very quickly, and I'm going to go through it with you today. But before we get into that, I would like to invite you to subscribe if you have not yet already. Click that hype button and the like button, but only if you want to. So, my first impressions, why are we enduring yet another Meghan Markle interview? She is one of the most disliked known figures. She has nothing new going on, and everything she's been doing is flopping and failing. This is a woman who, remember, is only famous because of who she married. Like, we only know who she is because of who she married. If she was still just like on her normal trajectory, she would just be, like a normal TV actress. We don't get these types of persistent, incessant interviews from TV actresses or actors. Like, it doesn't happen. You know why? Because they are not that level of celebrity. And so the Meg is only at the level of fame or known personness, infamy, because of who she married. Therefore, this interview and the things in it are as banal and boring and plain and repetitive as you would imagine, because she is not famously infamous on her own merit. Nay, it is just because of who she happened to marry. Name association only. Therefore, there is nothing good here in this interview. It's getting hard to review these because it's all the same stuff we've all heard before and there's nothing new. So then it becomes like, what are we all doing here? Well, Harper's Bazaar is trying to get a little publicity and they're doing the Meg a big favor. And the Meg is trying to drum up some additional attention as per usual, but especially because the trailer for her Netflix series just dropped and I have a separate video talking about it, but it is like at a 90% dislike ratio right now. Everybody's putting thumbs down on it. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants to see it. And this interview being published at the exact same time, the same day as the Netflix trailer dropped, is not a coincidence. It is burying that trailer, which is weird because Netflix are the ones involved in that trailer. And the last stand for With Love Meghan, the last glimpse of it that we're going to have to endure with the holiday special. And so why would Netflix want it overshadowed by this interview? I don't know. I imagine they would assume that this interview would actually drive more attention to the Netflix trailer and this short little Christmas special that she's putting out, holiday special that she's putting out. I assume that they thought it would, like normal publicity. Like when an actor has a big movie coming out, you see them get more publicity, more magazine interviews or covers or photo shoots, like these types of things happen when a celebrity has a project coming up. But the Meg's paltry little holiday special on Netflix, after they've already canceled, broke ties with her, and they're not going to be helping her with As Ever going forward. They're not willing to put it in their brick and mortar stores. We're diving into greater detail on that bit of news in the separate video that should be up within the next day or two. So after all the failures and rejection from Netflix, you would think that they're trying to get a little publicity for the With Love Meghan thing, but because everything Meghan does is so boring and plain and nobody wants it and there's not really any appetite for more Meghan, both the interview and the trailer are not going to get good traction, and they're not going to help each other. And also, when a celebrity has a big movie coming out, the same cannot be said for the likes of Meg's silly little Christmas holiday special. It's not a big deal. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something people are excited about. It's not some big thing in her career. It's a flop. I mean, people have rejected it. Every single review of it is negative. So I don't understand what's happening. I don't understand why we have to endure more of these repetitive interviews, but here we are, repeating the same exact stuff that we have heard every other interview she has had this year. Literally everything is the same. I saw People magazine put out an article covering this article in Harper's Bazaar, which is just, this is the media these days. I'm going to write an article about someone else's article. But they say it's a rare insight. I'm sorry. What is People magazine's threshold for rare? Because mine is like when we get to hear from Catherine, Princess of Wales, or Prince William in an interview, it's rare because it doesn't happen very often, okay? Harry and Meghan do interviews constantly. It is not rare. And it's not rare for them to give insights into what they're doing at home because they're divulging that information constantly. It is constant. We do not go 1 week without a post, an interview, a podcast spot, an appearance, or a project announcement, or just a project from Meghan or Harry. Like, we don't. We don't go 1 week without something from them. Ergo, none of it is rare, which actually is a really bad thing for Harry and Meghan because, like I said, they're not celebrities who are famous for their talent or accomplishments. They're just famous by name association, which they trashed and rejected and, lied about all these things. So that whole thing is a big pile of hypocrisy on its own. But the fact that Harry and Meghan aren't famous for anything specific is exactly why they should keep some more mystery about them. Because all these not rare, rather consistent, regular spills of information and appearances and all this stuff, the getting attention constantly, is damaging their image overall because they're oversaturated and all of those things that we've talked about before. They contradict themselves, they set themselves up for failure, all that stuff. But also because then there is no mystery about them, so nobody's curious about them anymore, so nobody pays attention. I would bet this Harper's Bazaar magazine cover is one of their lowest selling covers of the year. Because people don't want to buy this magazine cover. They don't want to buy an interview with the Meg because it's the same exact interview we've heard before. And who even is the Meg? Who cares? Not that she has no value. Like, everybody has value. It's just not this type of thing. Like, there is no reason to interview the Meg. There just isn't. There's nothing new going on. She has no new projects. There's nothing exciting or inspiring to talk about. It's just the same stuff. And everything that she does talk about is not only regurgitated from previous interviews, but it's just regular, normal, average stuff. Like, I would never launch into stories about my basic, very normal childhood. I would just say it's a childhood like pretty much everybody else. Pretty normal upbringing. And that's what Meg had. So there's nothing newsworthy about this. There's nothing interesting here. Same with her normal day-to-day life. She is just a lady trying to sell runny jam. Okay, there's nothing interesting here, and it is not rare. Like, just contrast it to maybe like a director or an actor or a musician who's producing art that then you're interested in or that resonates with you or connects with you and people like it. It's popular. The actor is popular. People get curious about those people. They're curious about their childhood or curious about their past or how did they get to where they are? How did they get this success? Or how do they come up with these ideas for their wonderful songs or beautiful movies or, whatever it is. People want to know more about them and their life and their background, even if it is pretty normal stuff, because those people are making art that we then consume and connect with on some level, typically. Like, if it's popular, usually that's because people connect with it. It resonates with people. People like it. People think you're very talented, and then they might be curious. Like, hey, how did you find yourself here? And some people, like some celebrities, have fascinating backstories, quite frankly. Like Jim Carrey has a fascinating backstory, and his stands out because it's rather unique. Chris Pratt has a rather interesting backstory. Those are the types of people that were curious to hear more about their backstory, their origin story. The Megs, not so much. And it's not out of dislike or something weird like that. It's just like, why? She was just like a normal human being, not super successful actress or anything like that. She was Just, we know about her because she married somebody famous. That doesn't inherently make you more interesting. What is happening? Anyway, let's move on to some of these pictures because they are rather uncomfortable. I don't care for these photographs, really. These pictures of Meg. It says here that the story is by Caitlin Greenidge, who, you guys, this Caitlin lady is all up in Meghan's business. She is sickly sycophantic in this at certain parts, but she also points out specifically multiple times that someone announces the Duchess of Sussex before Meghan walks into a room multiple times while putting together this story. You guys, Meghan has somebody enter a room before her and say, Duchess of Sussex, and then the Meg walks through the door. This happens multiple times throughout this story, throughout this interview. And at one point, the writer even points out, even though I'm pretty sure we are the only two people in the room, somebody still announces the Meg is walking into the room. What is this? The insane level of ego to do that. I am baffled by it. Like, I knew the Meg was super narcissistic, super egotistical, super full of herself. That's all obvious, old news. But to go to that great of a length, that is so gross. It just is. Especially after how much she lied about and trashed the royal family and complained about everything all the time and is trying to sell herself as this really down-to-earth lady. To literally have someone announce Duchess of Sussex before you enter a room multiple times? I'm astonished. That is a whole new level of gross and narcissism and all of the things. The self-importanceness is just, it's nauseating at this point. But that was shocking. So that leads me to wonder, is this Caitlin lady just making the articles sound super obsessed with the Meg and impressed with the Meg for, job safety? Or is she trolling Meghan? Because pointing that out does not make Meghan look good. It makes Meghan look horrible. You know who we have never heard does that? The real royal family. Okay, that is crazy to me. Like at official engagements and stuff, of course they do. In the palace, of course they do. If there's like something like they're having a meeting, things like that, of course, sure, of course they would. But like just in normal day-to-day or showing up to schools or to play sports, to play volleyball on the beach, I am 100% sure nobody stood there in the sand and said, Prince William, before he came marching onto the sand to play volleyball with the people, okay? That is literally insane of Meghan. The delusion, like it just proves everyone right about Meg, that she really is that toxic of a weirdo to have that in this article. So maybe Caitlin is kind of revealing more than it seems at first. Read between the lines type of thing. Anyway, photographs are by Malik Bodian and styling is by Carlos Nazario. Nothing against Carlos Nazario, but I do not like how this was styled at all. So here we have the Meg in this like sort of, it looks like a dressing coat to me. I don't mind the piece for Meghan. It actually might give her some good balance if we could see her standing up in this, because a bit of a peplum top with a little bit of volume over the hips might be nice. But the makeup is so intentionally understated and the hair so intentionally understated and overly simple and soft that it feels manipulative. It feels too try hard. Here you can see they put white liner on this waterline on the lower line to try to make her eyes look a little bit bigger, because the Meg with no makeup on, her eyes look really, really small because they are naturally quite small for her face. But they tried to open them up a little bit, but this just looks out of place, especially the hair. Just kind of softly tucked back in a sort of just messy way, as if you were in your downtime at home, sort of, I think is what they're going for. Like, this is just natural Meghan. She doesn't try hard with her hair or anything. She's not a real try hard. She is a real try hard. Okay, you can't trick us with a photograph like this, especially because then this is a very fancy outfit, very expensive earrings, and it's posed perfectly, like, come on. This looks out of place. It looks incongruous. Again, it's the same issue with the hair where it just looks like she came just out freshly washed, did nothing to it. And I mean, like, that can work. The slightly undone sort of a thing can work sometimes. It's just that Meghan can't really quite pull it off. She's posing really hard here. And it comes across to try hard. Plus, with what we know of Meghan, of all her different eras, of trying to sell different versions of herself, it just feels like she's trying to push a certain narrative. She's trying to do this photo shoot that's just as glamorous, just as pretentious as all the rest, especially with somebody there whose job specifically is to announce your title before you walk in the room. Okay. The level of pretentiousness of that, it's coming through in these photographs, despite her trying to look like she's like, oh no, I'm just totally natural, totally just me, how I am, in these glamorous clothes, glamorous jewelry, and posing super hard. Like, it just doesn't work. It doesn't fit together. Something about these photographs feels so uncomfortable to me. This in the giant man shirt, messily rolled up. I mean, I guess the most we can say here is it's on brand for the Meg, okay? But even just this look here, it almost looks sinister to me. Do we have a smile yet? Have we had like a real smile yet? No smiling. Okay. And then we have this one, terrible. This huge trench coat, the black turtleneck, the layering and all of that. It's heavily styled. All the layering here and whatnot. You would think, okay, this could be good. But Meg just can't pull it off. It feels like she is acting. It feels like she is pretending to be this model, this high-powered situation here. It's just not working for me at all. And I don't like this outfit for this. It's messy. It's bulky. This huge trench coat is overwhelming. And it looks silly, quite frankly. This looks silly. Okay? The trench coat is obviously way too big. And Meg cannot pull off high fashion stuff. She cannot pull off oversized stuff. It makes her look silly. Same critique with the hair there. This red one is probably the best of them just because it has color, but her eyelids look super weird here. You see how there's like a fold that looks like it's in a really weird place and it's like highlighted as compared to the rest of the makeup? It looks super duper strange. Like, I know that she has slightly hooded eyes, but this looks very weird. They should have smoothed it out or just done a different eye makeup look, because it almost looks like there's a line drawn right in the middle of her eyelid, but that is not the case. That's just a skin fold there. So they have shimmer drawing the eye to that, accentuating the fold. It looks very strange. It looks very, very strange. But nevertheless, the bright pop of color I think helps. This is probably the best picture of the bunch, even though she still looks weird. And then we have the chair photo, still same try hard, same like vacuous, empty expression on her face. She's just expressionless in all of these. She's doing the same face in every single photo. No smile, nothing behind the eyes. The eyes look really close together here on top of looking really small. And it's just this like boring stare. Is that what she thinks like high fashion is? It's just a stare. An expressionless stare. She was going to do the interview. She needed to include some more exciting information and talk about what she was actually doing, not just repeating the same stuff over and over again. But if she was going to do this photo shoot, she needed to inject some personality, because that's exactly why the Netflix series has failed, why nobody is watching it, why nobody wants any more podcasts from her, why everything isn't working, is because there's no personality shining through. It's all just so obsessed with looking the way that she thinks, and that just overshadows your personality shining through, because you're focused on something else. You have an agenda and you're acting, you're pretending, and it comes through. And so she should have focused on something that is really personality driven, not these types of just boring, expressionless poses and faces. as I was skimming through the article before sitting down to film, and we're going to go through it in a moment, but as I was skimming through, she spent a lot of time trying to talk about how she likes to play. And I mean, we've heard this from her before, but it was super annoying then, it's super annoying now. Oh, I just like to be able to play with this, play with that, play. Okay. Setting aside the weirdness of that wording, then why not make your photo shoot playful? And I'm not talking about this playful that she tried to do with the Variety one that was just unhinged. I'm talking about actual playfulness. Like, do something fun. Or like be with your kids or something. It just would make more sense, like, if I were strategizing with Meghan from a PR perspective. Like, it is time to demonstrate more personality. Push a little life into your public image, because it is so bland and boring and try hard and contrived and all of the things that it's just a total turnoff all the way around. And so she would have benefited greatly from something more playful and vibrant and fun, or even like, because she did the stupid Nigeria trip, the stupid Colombia trip, she does those types of things. She could have like worn stuff from those trips and made her photo shoot really, really fun and playful in that way, or done like all California designers or something. Or even like California streetwear, stuff that was like smaller brands from California, something like that. If she wants to be this hometown hero type of lady, doing something that connects back to what she claims to want to be her image would at least give this a little bit more of a purpose and be more interesting to us. But no, it's the Meg, so we get these types of pictures. Here's another one, just plain and boring. And as you can see, even if she is wearing designer clothing here, or fancy things, we don't even get to see the clothes. This isn't about the clothes, because the Meg cannot wear fancy clothes. Remember, she doesn't have the figure or the vibe to really carry cool fashions the way some of these ladies who get Harper's Bazaar photo shoots do. Like Cynthia Erivo just did a big cover story with Harper's Bazaar. Amazing looks, very cool styles, and felt very Cynthia at the same time. While there's no doubt these feel Meghan, it doesn't look good. Like, look at this one. This one's probably my least favorite because it's so funny. Look at how silly she looks. She has a mean girl face on, like wet. And she's got her sleeves pulled up over her hands. What? I'm a moody teenager. What? That's what she's doing here as she sits here in her fancy GMPs and her silly pointy shoes. The top and the trousers don't match in tone either, so that's a big mistake. The hair looks pretentious. The face looks like a petulant teenager. It's very unappealing. And this pose, okay, is teenage boy or young man, maybe even. The man spread and the slouch back in the chair, it's not giving, ooh, cool rebel Meghan, or whatever she thought it might give. It's the way men sit, with their legs spread apart, their knees spread apart. That's how dudes sit, okay? Come on, Meghan. It doesn't look good. Oh, this one might be worse. This one with the huge oversized trench coat, an ill-fitting skirt, and she is doing the Elaine and trying to laugh. Okay, we finally got a smile. It's terrible. Oh my God. Ugh. Nope. None of it's working. Okay, here's one full shot. Still, it's not really featuring the clothing or the fashion. It's basically the same as the other one. Expressionless, once again. Okay, so it's clearly either manic, aggressive laughter or the boring face, I guess. That's the only two vibes she has. Okay, they included a little 45-second behind the scenes. I'm sure it'll be just as cringy as all the rest. I see why they didn't do like an interview spot or something like that, like of her talking. It's just so, it's hard to like. Like, even just looking at it as objectively as possible, it's hard to like. Let's get into the actual article, though.